Everybody, I'm Steph.
I'm Michael.
Today we're checking out Revive.
From Aporta Games.
Yes.
And it plays 1 to 4 players with a box time of 90 to 120 minutes.
Yes.
So we are playing this in anticipation of playing the expansion that we have recently gotten. But I wanted to play the base game first before we show off the expansion because I don't plan to do the base game rules and the expansion rules all at once.
Yeah.
So this will just be the base game, and this is probably going to be the rules video.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a playthrough video after it. So this game was provided to us by Aporta Games, but they did not give it to us in exchange for this video. They gave it to us because they know we like to play all the games.
That's
so. Let's go ahead and get to all the rules
with Michael.
You will set up the board like so. We've got a stack of 2-point bonus tiles with a 4-point on top. Each of our little ghost player piece. They look like little ghosts, don't they?
They do, yeah.
One over here and one way over here on the score track. You will start off with 5 of these starting tiles like so in a random formation. And then you will have all of the other tiles face down surrounding it. There are 5 of these end game scoring tiles. They are double-sided. One of them is pulled out, and the other ones you'll just flip in order to come up with a random side to place in the other 4 locations. You will place a number of these little, they look like alien head asteroids or something. Based on the player count, you'll see that on the back it'll say whether it's 1 plus or 2 plus or 3 plus or 4 player, and you will just put those up here on top. You'll also shuffle up all the crate tokens and all of these, what are these called? These citizen cards, and you will have a deck of 6 starting citizen cards. You will make sure that all of the citizen cards you have the same letter A, B, C, or D in the corner, so that everybody starts off with the an equal batch of starter cards. You're going to shuffle up your 6 cards, put 3 of them below your player board in an area called your active area, and your other 3 cards are going to go over here in your resting area. Notice the little person in a little hibernation pod matches the back side of these cards. Notice the starter cards have a little S on them for starter. So I will generally not be keeping all of my cards here, though I guess I could, as long as Steph knows that there's a little crate right here on the board. She's probably fine with it. You're also going to place your small houses here, your large houses here, your little people on all the little spots where the people are, and you're going to put all of your discs on your player board on all of these circles and hexagons and your 5 slots right here. You've also got little blue markers that will chart your resources, your crystals, your gears, your books, and your food. I believe that is food. It is a bag, and I do believe that it is food. You'll also have a yellow, gray, and green cylinder, which will travel along each of these tracks. So, I believe that is it for setup. I am the first player, so I'm going to start off with 1 crystal. The second player will start off with a crystal and a gear. The third player will have a crystal, a gear, and a book. And the fourth player will have 1 of each resource. So, the crystals, you can only hold up to 3 of them at a time. Crystals can always be traded in for 1 of any resource. As you can see here on the side, crystal, on the side of your player mat, you'll see crystal can be transmuted into any of the available resources. It's an icon that looks like this. It means that anytime you see an icon like this, it means a gear or a book or a food. then you can always do that. If for some reason you would acquire a fourth crystal, you can always immediately transmute that crystal into whatever of the resources that you want. Now, if you ever go above 6 gears or 6 books or 6 food, then you're just going to waste those because those cannot be transferred into anything else. And I forgot to mention each player does start off with 1 energy that can be used to activate spots on your player board. These double layer player boards are super nice, and there are spots to put bonus tokens on them and a little bonus scoring track on the side. You will also have a little sliding switch that you will place in the on position starting off. To set up the market, you're going to deal up 5 citizen cards up here. You're going to have the these are called
Technologies.
that is a super good question. Machine tokens. 3 green, 3 gray, and 3 yellow. And you will have these slot module tokens, which will give you. We usually call these bonus tokens. They will fit into the sides of your player board. You will deal 5 of them face up as well. I believe that is it for setup. The
Did you say we each got our own special one of these?
Oh, I did not mention that. Each of us has a special end game scoring card. I will show you an example one here. The How much you score for each of these depends on how many of those funny looking alien asteroid heads that you manage to collect. So I am going to score. If I had this, I would score 1 point for each energy token that I have. In addition to that, I'm always going to score this, but in addition to this, I'm going to score this amount for every one of these purple heads that I have. What is the actual name for these are called major artifacts. The little 4 point and 2 point tokens over here, these are called minor artifacts. You'll use these when the major artifacts run out. That is an end game timer. So, if I managed to get 2 of those little purple alien heads, I would score this 3 times, 1 by default and 2 for the 2 heads. So even if I don't get any purple heads because Steph took them all, I'm still going to score this once. I'd also get 1 point for each of these symbols I reveal down here at the bottom of my unique player race, I guess this is. Your tribe board is what this is. And I would score 1 point for each of the meeples that I have placed onto the board. I put that over there, Steph, if you would.
I do it.
You do it. If you want to play a longer game for a variant, you could use the 3-player or 4-player major artifacts to just create a longer game. There's nothing wrong with that. You could totally do that. So, you can also, if you wanted to, let each player have 2 artifact cards or get to choose one if you wanted to do so. So, the goal of this game, each of us is to lead a tribe trying to rebuild the worlds. We're basically coming out of this central area. It looks like a little crater right here. We're going to start from here and spread outward throughout the land, starting from here. There are blue points and purple points that we will score throughout the game. Anytime you see a purple, like when you're placing these meeples, those points are going to be scored at the end of the game. Anytime you see the little blue icon, those are points that you will score during the game. And that is important because whenever you pass by one of these resources, like a crate or a major artifact, you will collect those as you go. Certainly, you don't want to score your purple points at this point because you don't want to use those to collect those crates or major artifacts. So, There, just to take a little side note, there is also a campaign mode that goes along with this game, where you will open up one of these campaign decks, and it's basically a 5-part campaign of Revive, which I totally want to play. For those
characters have different abilities on the back, and there's other tokens to punch, and so this.
And for those of you who don't know, this was my top ranked game of new games to me last month.
Yeah.
And I can't remember. It had to have been super high on the month that you played it last year,
BGG
because
last year.
it was BGG Con. Yeah. Because it was your 18th top game of all of last year.
I know.
And for those of you who say, top 18, that's nothing. Steph plays 600 games. Steph and I both play like 600 games every single year that are new to us.
Yeah.
So that's in the top,
yeah,
3% of games that you play.
If we played it more, I think maybe, if I got the chance to play it more last year, I probably would have raised it higher. I only played it one time. So now I've played it 3 times, and it's like, oh, this game's like super cool, and I love it,
Exactly. So
glad we could add it to the collection.
I am as well. So the starting player is going to take the first turn. The player card here is super helpful with letting you know exactly what you can do. As you can see on the left side, you can take up to 2 actions, or you can do everything on the right-hand side, which is to hibernate. You'll also have these 2 action cubes. They are sort of large and chunky, and you can use this to help you remember the 2 things that you did. You can do 2 different actions, or you can do 2 of the same action. So, I should mention, you'll notice this little notch on my player board. That's where this ought to go on my player board. It should look more like Steph's and less like mine here on the bottom here.
It doesn't matter all.
It doesn't matter that much.
But you will need space above and below your.
Absolutely. So I do have space above and a little bit to the side, should I need it. So, the first thing you can do on your turn as an action is to play a card, and this is what you're going to be doing most often. When you play a card, you're going to place it either on the top or the bottom of your board and correspondingly do that action. For example, if I place this on the top of my board, I will get 2 gears. If I place it on the bottom of my board, I'm going to get 1 gray track push. So let's say I put this on the top of my board. I will then get my 2 gears. I will move this up the track. Now, if I had acquired at some point in the past this bonus token, notice that it has yellow and gray on the colors. If I play a yellow or a gray card to that corresponding slot, then I am going to always get that bonus when a card is played to that slot, as long as it is that color. So let's say I have this token placed here. I would not only get the 2 gears, I would also get 1 food. So you'll get that for each of the each of the bonus tokens that you have in that slot. Now, whenever I place this bonus token into a slot, if I choose to place it over this check mark right here, I immediately get what is on the bonus token, but I only get that 1 time. Now, there is a player power. It's either a player power or a card power, and I can't remember which it is. But there's a power that allows you to swap out 1 token for another. When you do swap it out, if there does happen to be a check mark there, you do not get the bonus by the check mark. You're basically just swapping it out so that you have a different bonus there the next time that you play a card there. So if I were to put this on the bottom, as you can see, I am going to get the gray track push, which means that I'm going to move this forward 1 spot. Hey, look, I hit that spot. I have unlocked this technology right here. This is now available for me to use at any time, as long as I assign 1 energy to it. Once I have put an energy on that, I cannot get this energy back until I hibernate, and I could not put an extra energy on it until I hibernate. When I hibernate, all of these energy markers will all go back to the middle, making these actions become available once again. Now, what do I do with this blue token that I just pulled off? Those will go on the side of your board here. And if you cover up a symbol like one of these energy markers or one of those major artifact markers, as soon as you cover it up, you are going to get that energy token or major artifact. So you'll also notice that some of the spots on the board have, for example, this one on green 3 and gray 7. So once you've gotten to green 3, half of this technology is unlocked. When your other side reaches on or beyond that side, you have then unlocked that area. Notice that this is one of those circular areas. As soon as you unlock one of those circular areas, you can take one of these 3 machine gear tokens and place it on your board, and that technology becomes available for use. Once anything is taken from up here, you are then going to refresh those so that more are available. And the same thing with the citizen cards up on top.
Up top.
Up top. Now, as you will notice, there is one of these cards that has a sort of like a machine gear slot down here at the bottom. This means that if I were to play this card into the bottom slot, then I will get what it says in the bottom right here. And then if I were on a later card playing action, if I were to play another card of the same color into that slot, it doesn't have to be the same color, but if it is the same color, I'm going to activate it and all of the other cards underneath it, as well as activating these bonuses again. Now, if I were to play a yellow card here, I would only get the yellow card and any yellow bonuses. I would not get to activate this gray card again. But basically, that slot means I can slot yet another card into that position.
Yeah, if you don't have that symbol, you cannot play a second card.
That is correct. If I were to play this right here, this slot is now used until I hibernate.
Yep. You're right.
So there are a variety of effects. All of these are described in the rule book, and we will encounter those as we play through the playthrough. So if you're interested in finding out what each of these little symbols means, stick with us for the playthrough. So that is the play a card action. Anytime you see this little ghostly white card with or without this green arrow, because it's sometimes inconsistent on the cards, this just means that you can play a card into a slot. Once you open up this 5th card slot, which is almost always right here in the middle of each of the tribe sheets. When you unlock that, you can unlock this 5th slot, which allows you to play cards either the top side or the bottom side into this side slot. And yes, you can fill up these bonus token slots even without being able to play anything here. So the second action is sort of a pity action, and that is to move your switch token. All you'll do is to move your switch slider down so the red lights are showing, and you'll take 1 resource of your choice. Usually I'll do this if I've got nothing else to do for my second action, and I'm about to go into hibernation, but have not done so yet. If I was able to use both of my actions last turn and I have nothing to do this turn, I'm not going to spend my turn just to use my switch slider. I'm probably going to hibernate at that point.
Spoiler, there's one character in the expansion that solely does stuff with that and makes it better.
Oh, wow.
So it seemed pretty cool. Haven't played it yet.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
The third action you can do is to explore. You're going to explore the land. When you're starting out, you're going to start out from right here in the middle. And then to explore out, you're going to have to spend food in order to explore further out from anything that is farther than 1 hex, meaning right next to where you are. So if I wanted to explore this tile here, I would have to spend 1 food because I am 1 hex away from here. In other words, there's 1 hex between where I am and where I'm going to be. That's the easy way to think about it, is how many hexes are there between you points and the spot.
Yeah.
So that's 1 food that I'm going to need. I'm also going to need to pay whatever it says on the back of the tile. And in this case, it's 2 more food. And when I do, I'm going to get 1 point immediately. And I'm going to get a card from the display.
Cards go directly
to your active area. They don't go into hibernation. So that's sort of cool.
That's awesome.
That's pretty awesome. You'll notice that all of these tiles will get you additional cards. Basically, those are citizens that you're meeting along the way. You'll also notice that some of these have cityscape backgrounds or lakes. Those features will be on one of the 4 hexes on this tile. So there's going to be some sort of city on this tile. There's going to be a lake on these 3 tiles here. There's not going to be any of those features on this tile, though there might be forest or is that farmland or grassland areas. Those could be on these areas, on any of these tiles.
I'm pretty sure every tile has 2 features, whether it's like a terrain with pushes or a special feature.
Right. There's going to be something.
There's always 2 that are covered, I think.
So also, if you are the one who is exploring this, you can choose which of the 2 orientations that you want to place this tile. Obviously, you can't place it long ways in this tile. There's only 2 different orientations that this can go.
Yep.
And now, whenever you explore the tile, you're not going to move any of your meeples onto the tile. You're not going to put any of your houses on the tile. You just get to see what the tile has. It doesn't actually get you there. So, how do you put the meeples and houses onto the board? Those are the 4th and 5th actions, and that is to populate and build. So, whenever you are doing populate or build, it uses the same sort of range calculation as you do for explore. If I am going to place one of my meeples, then I, again, have to start off from the middle because I don't have anything on the board yet. I'm going to start at the middle and try to get to one of these city areas. Well, fortunately, there's a little city area right next to me. So I'm going to take this meeple and I'm going to place it right here. In order to place this, the cost is right next to my meeple. It costs 2 books plus meeple. And what 2 books plus meeple means is I have to pay 2 books plus for every meeple that is on this space, I have to pay a book to that player. So for instance, if I'm here and Steph on a later turn wants to place hers, she has to pay her normal cost of 2 books, plus she has to pay me 1 book for the fact that I already have a meeple there. Alternatively, she could go over here and pay the extra food instead of the extra book.
Yeah, you have a cool power on your board that you don't have to pay. If other people are there.
Oh, yeah, right here. Do not pay extra cost for meeple. And you can also notice that it's not noted on my little player card here. This says 3 book plus meeple. This says 3 book, but no longer says plus meeple. These other ones you have to sort of manually remember. I don't have to pay for it because it's one of my powers.
That's good.
So, probably not as handy in a 2-player game, but could be valid at some point. Now, notice that there are little tracks that these are on. You cannot immediately put this guy out until you've built the sort of like the tech tree
the
path.
Prerequisites, to get
moving up to that area. However, each of these are going to be worth 2 points to you at the end of the game, and they're going to give you some sort of power, special ability. And for things like this end game special spot, you might get 2 extra points if you can manage to place a meeple onto this end game scoring tile. Now, the only places that you can put meeples are onto the city spots and onto these end game scoring tiles. So keep that in mind. The most you can have, since you only have 7, you can have at most each of these 4 corners and 3 others on the board. So be wary of where you place each of your tokens. Now, once I have placed a meeple onto the board, for example, let's say I'm placing this here. Any future explore or populate or build actions will start at my meeple, not at the center anymore. So if I want to explore this land over here, I've got to pay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 food plus the 2 food. So I should.
It's any of your meeples, not just that one. But
well, that's what I'm trying to say. I have to do it from this one at this point.
It's your only one.
Not from the middle anymore.
Correct.
The middle is only used when you have nothing on the board.
Right.
If I have 2 meeples on the board or a meeple and a house, I can choose either of those as my starting spot for purposes of range. So I could explore this for no extra food or either of these for no extra food because I have something next to it. But hey, let's talk a little bit about the build action. It works like the populate action with regards to range. And then whenever you place your building, you are going to get whatever is surrounding it. So for example, if I place a building right here, I'm going to get a push on the yellow track, a push on the green track, another push on the green track, and a push on the gray track.
It's a really good spot.
That's a lot of pushes.
Yeah.
And that's going to cost me 3 gears, as you can see at the top of my board. If I were to place a large building, of which I only have 3, it costs me 5 gears, but I get double gear pushes. So I would get 2 gray, 2 yellow, and 4 green pushes. If anything gets revealed right here, that would give me gear pushes as well. I would get those. So let's say that Steph explores this and she would want to place it so that any sort of bonuses do not appear on these middle spots. She will try to rotate it around so I don't get the benefit for it. However, if it is a track push or a lake bonus, I will get that bonus. Now, there is one thing that is important to note. If I were to build here, I would get the track pushes and the water bonus of one of these bonus tiles. If I were to place a second house next to this area, I do not get this water bonus again. I would get extra track pushes if I'm next to these multiple times, but the water bonuses can be collected once per player, not multiple times per player. You'll notice.
Yeah, so a better spot to build might be there if you're going for water, because you might find more water adjacent.
That's correct.
But maybe
and I would be adjacent to both water.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be excellently cool.
Working your way to the water bonus over here.
I can neither confirm nor deny my character's strategy. With look how many water bonus, meeple bonus. I mean, there's a lot of tasty areas here.
Good stuff.
I just gotta say.
Yeah. Costly.
It is costly. Now, you'll also notice on the edges of the board are crystal locations. There's none over on the top edge of the board, which I found interesting for people that might have crystal bonuses on the edge of the map. I remember distinctly in our game, there was a crystal bonus here, and I could go down this path, but I could not go across the top and get crystals.
Right.
Those will work similarly with the small and large buildings. A small will get 1 crystal. A large building will get 2 crystals, and you can get multiples of them with multiple buildings. However, be advised that the crystal bonus on one of these tiles, I can't remember where it is, or if it's the one that's pulled out. Let's take a look here. It's going to be the one that's pulled. Yep, it's the one that's pulled out. That's not what I'm talking about. Not at all what I'm talking about. There is a crystal bonus. There it is. Thank you. No, it's not on that. Anyway, there is a crystal bonus that basically it is how many crystals have buildings next to it, not how many buildings are next to your crystal. So be advised that this would earn 1 bonus, not 2. You'd want to do something like this to get 2 different bonuses. Hello, Elevation Games. What were y'all playing? Thanks for the raid.
Thanks for the raid. We are teaching Revive right now.
So those are your 5 actions. Whenever you
I hit something.
I don't know what you did and when you did it.
Well, it is what it is. I hit something.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I'm like, what's happening here? So once you run out of slots, or once you run out of cards down here, you'll probably have to take the hibernate action. And when you hibernate, you are going to do all of the things on the side over here. What you're going to do is you're going to return, and weirdly enough, the rule book and the iconography does not follow 1-to-1, but let's go through the things that you do. Return all of the energy from your machines to your energy storage here in the middle. You're going to take all the cards from your resting area and put them, let's pretend like these are all in the slots here. You're going to take all the cards from your resting area and you're going to put them face up down here. You're going to take all of your played cards from your card slots and put them face down in your resting area. You're going to slide your switch token up so that it's available again, and you're going to advance your hibernation marker, which is over here, 1 space up, and then you're going to take whatever bonus that you're on or anything underneath it. So if I've already advanced to here, I could take a crate or a point in a crystal or a bonus token. My choice. Excuse me. Whenever you hibernate, you can also spend all your remaining energy really quick in order to take care of all of your energy before you bring all of your energy back in. But you have to do that at the beginning of the turn, not at the end of your hibernate turn. So you're also allowed to hibernate even if your marker is at the end of the track. You're just not going to move up anymore, and you can still take one of whatever bonus that you want to take. Let's see here. So that is hibernate. Remember, at any time you can trade a crystal for a resource. You can, as a free action, use any of your machines for the cost of 1 energy. You can also open up one of these crates if you've managed to collect them. Those will usually give you some sort of bonus action or bonus resources. If a player takes the last major artifact, the end of the game is triggered. At that point, you are going to take the end game tile, which is the 4-point token right here. After that, if anyone takes an artifact, it's going to be one of these little 2-point minor artifacts. Then all other players will take 1 last turn. There does not necessarily need to be equal turns. So even though I'm the start player, if Steph triggers the end game, I will still get 1 more bonus, 1 more turn. Then we're going to tally up all of our purple points. We're going to also get the lowest visible number on our progress track. Remember, we're putting all these little blue discs on here. We're going to get points for any unlocked technologies on the board. You'll notice that the points at the end of these tracks will say 2 points for instance, the gray cards and whatever other color card that is.
Not starting.
Gray cards, but not starting cards. Yellow cards, but not starting cards. And green cards, but not starting cards.
Right.
If you've unlocked the end game card bonus on a machine track, you're going to get, that's the 2 points here. You're going to get those. If there are any large locations where you have your population figures, you're going to get those end game points and points for your artifact card that you got at the end of the game. Also, 1 point for every 5 remaining resources rounded down, and points for the end game tile, 4 points, and the minor artifacts are 2 points. That pretty much does it. Ties are broken in favor of the player with the most unscored resources, meaning a fifth of a point for each of those. The rulebook is super good with all of the different tribe abilities and technologies. There are also some tribes that are unlocked in the campaign. So there's a lot of goodness yet to come, even for us, right?
I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to explore this more. I'm like terrible at this. I don't think I've ever won this game.
Really? I thought you beat me
in 3 plays. I don't think I've won.
Well, I don't think I've won Nucleum, so there you
go. That's fair. So that was all the rules.
All the rules.
With Michael.
So be sure to check out Revive from Aporta Games and check out our playthrough. And the link is below if you are checking this out on YouTube after the fact.
Yep. So we will come back real soon.
That's right. And if you enjoyed this teach and you enjoy playthroughs, then come join us on twitch.tv/BoardGamerSteph every Wednesday and Sunday night at 5 p.m. Central, where we stream through 3 games or more every single stream. So come join us on Twitch, where we play all the games and read all the rules.
There's a lot of rules.
That's right.
All right, we'll be right back with that playthrough.